My name is John Richardson. I'm the host of Richardson's Rubicon podcast. I'm also an ex-information security manager because I'm retired, and I also was an IT governance manager. I'm also an ITIL expert as well, certified crazy that is. I just want to talk today a little bit about the Bluesky migration from X, which has taken place. It's fantastic to see. I am fully enjoying my experience on Bluesky, but I just wanted to talk about a couple of things that I have noticed. And one of these things is really the difference in verification process that takes place with Bluesky versus what people are perhaps used to on X and previously Twitter, and what that might mean. Now, I'll keep it short, as short as possible. So Twitter, they had a large team that was dedicated. There was a verification team, which obviously costs money, and they were dedicated in, verifying the identities of certain celebrities versus the accounts that they held, and all of that sort of stuff. So, that was one way of doing it. Then, with Elon Musk taking over X, he thought, or he said, that everybody should be verified, and everybody could be verified if they paid for a premium account. So that was one way of looking at it, but we saw then that there were fake accounts created. It wasn't a verification process per se. It was basically just a buy yourself higher up the ratings process, and there was no real identity verification there at all. Well, it might have been a little bit, but it wasn't as great as what it could have been or was. So what Bluesky have done is they've gone for what is called domain verification. And it might be worthwhile understanding why they've done that. And they've done that because they've introduced something called the AT protocol, which is all about decentralisation, interoperability, and security. And what it enables your identity to do is to access many other AT protocol apps and services within the Bluesky universe, and also across the Fediverse that uses the AT protocol as well. And so really you are actually verified, and it allows you greater transportability, I guess, of your identity, which is a good thing. It makes it easier for you. So recently, yesterday, at the time of recording this, Sam Coates, who is a Sky reporter stroke journalist, I'm not sure what his title is, but basically he mistakenly amplified a fake account that was purporting to be Kemi Badenoch. And, the person who was pretending to be Kemi Badenoch just created a Bluesky account in the name of Kemi Badenoch. And when you do that, or create any account under Bluesky without any form of verification, you can pretend to be whoever it is you want to pretend to be. William Shatner, at bluesky.com or whatever it's called. So Sam then later said that, he's been informed by Kemi's team that is not her account. Fair enough. And he then said that there was no verification on Bluesky. Well, that's not strictly true. And then he later clarified it to say there's no easy verification on Bluesky. Well, that is also not strictly true. However, I can understand his perspective because, a lot of people would probably just want to pay, they might be used to paying £100 a year for verification, or they might just want to be awarded a blue tick. However, this way is a little bit more superior than that, and I'll just explain what you need to do. I'm not going into too much detail because essentially it's all out there on the Bluesky web pages, which I'll link in the show notes. But what you do is you basically just add a bit of text. If you own a domain like richardsonsrubicon.com, you add a bit of text to the DNS setting, which is your digital ID. You put that into your Bluesky app, and it verifies it. And it's kind of simple. I've then verified myself as attached to the domain richardsonrubicon.com. And of course, if anyone really wanted to, they could find out where I lived, who I was, because I've got that domain name registered. You can also keep that private if you like as well. So that's a single user with a single domain. And they can also do that via Bluesky. They can actually purchase a domain via Bluesky and do it that way. And then you've got your own transportable identity that you can use with anything that uses AT protocol. So that's all well and good. But an organisation like Sky News or BBC or the House of Commons or the House of Lords, all of these other stuff, they've got IT teams, right? So what they can do is they need to basically manage multiple users. And there are full instructions on how to do this on the Bluesky pages. It's fairly easy to do. It does involve using subdomains, say for instance, john.richardson, or I should say johnrichardson.sky.news, or whatever you want to call it. But basically you've got subdomains and a little bit of a script, a PHP script, say running in the well-known folder, which needs to be publicly accessible, of course, and it's all taken care of there. You can have all of your teams, all of your journos with the handle that you assign them, and they can then use that on Bluesky. Dead easy to do. And you can probably have it, the technical side of it, you can have it up and running in an afternoon. No problem, and there's no excuse not to have it up and running in an afternoon, frankly. But the implementation side of it, that might be different in terms of the user implementation, because people have got their own little Bluesky app on the phone, might be the company phone, might be the personal phone. They would just need to go through the verification process themselves. So someone in the company would have to write them a little bit of instructions on how to do that and roll out the training so that all of these non-technical people understand what it is that is being required of them. But that's just on any app that you get where you need to perform an update or something like that, or get the users to configure, or whatever it is that they do. So that is something that can be done, and I would expect within probably a week, 10 days at most, that we're going to start seeing all of the large organizations actually get their users across and give them their verified domains handles for Bluesky. I think that's going to happen. I'll be very, very surprised if it doesn't. One of the other things that came up when I was taking part in this thread was about domain name impersonation. Well, domain name impersonation has been around since the 90s. It's it's older than some of the journalists out there. It's typosquatting is what they call it. So you've got things like amazon.com or bbd.com. BBD? Well, I'm not sure about that. Anyway, you've got all sorts of stuff like that, and it just goes to show that you've always got to be on the lookout for that sort of misdirection, right? I'm not saying it doesn't happen, right? But it does happen, very definitely so. But it's always, in my view, a case of educating the users when you get around, to get around these typosquatting situations, which are often used for malware, phishing, scams, all sorts of stuff. A genuine concern, I think. But one example that the BBC, the House of Commons, House of Lords, Sky can use is once they've given their journos all of the Bluesky account handles, what they can then do is publish them on their website. So you've now got two layers of verification. You've got the domain that is being used and displayed within the actual handle of the journalists or MPs or whoever it is, and then you've got the actual list on the main proper website of the people with their handles. job done. Sky News has already got a list of all of the journalists that take part in their shows, and all they need to do is add the Bluesky handle to them. It's easy, no problem at all. So I think that whole, typosquatting thing is a little bit of a red herring, but if you do want to look into it further, there are measures that you can take. So there are services out there that essentially look out for and monitor for similar sounding domains to yourself, right? So if I was to say the BBC and someone registered to bba.com, it would give them an alert. Now this does cost money. It costs, I don't know, it can cost around about £400 a year to monitor for similar sounding domains. But then it's like, what do you do with that information? What do you do with the fact that you've got a similar sounding domain that's popped up? Well, if you are a large organization, you are going to probably be the holder of the trademark of your domain name, I would have thought. And you can use that to legally protect yourself from copycats, shall we call them. And, you drag them through the courts. That's what you do. What you can also do is basically use SSL certificates. Now, most people do these days. You can view the certificate. A suspicious user can view the certificate and see who it does belong to, see if the site is secure and things like that. But, not many people are bothered with that or technically able to understand what it is they're looking at. So whilst I'm putting it there as a recommendation, and that most people do use SSL anyway, even phishing sites, it's kind of like not the win you think it is. You could also register similar domains yourself. So, make some variations on your own name, like Sky, as in SKI. Oh, is that ski? It is. So Sky News, Sky News, all those sort of variations. Register them yourself, own them yourself. So that's one way of doing it. But the main thing is educating your users. Tell them who your journos are. Tell them who your MPs are. Give all of these, display the handles on your official website. That's your verification done. There you go. So, I hope that's cleared things up. Perhaps it hasn't. Perhaps I've just served to further confuse everything. I hope I haven't. But all the details on how to verify are on the Bluesky pages. I will link it in the show notes. My name is John Richardson. I am the host of richardsonsrubicon.com. And don't forget, you can take part in this podcast too. I'm sick of doing it solo. So get yourself along to my website, richardsonsrubicon.com, and book yourself in for a chat. You can have a fireside chat about something that you are a fan of. And, that section is called Pick Your Passion. So go for that. If you want to be interviewed, which is different to a fireside chat, interview is bash, bash, bash. I ask a few questions, that sort of thing. A fireside chat is much more amicable, I think. And, we can get to talk about various things and maybe meander through a few topics. Anyway, up to you. See you later. Bye.